Welcome to Bound by Books. I am one of your hosts, the romance writer, Danielle Bannister, and I'm joined today by fellow writer, Sherri Hayes. Welcome, Sherri!
Hey, Danielle. I'm
Hi.
Sherri Hayes, and I write steamy contemporary romance and BDSM romance. So
Yeah,
if
you
you want things
do.
on the hotter side.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you got like the sweet covered. I mean, even though you got steam in there, you tend to be a little sweeter than
sweet, suspense, and steamy. I like the essence.
Yes. And I start with the steamy and kind of go up from there. So yeah. My lower end is kind of her higher end for the most part.
So we got you covered. We got all your romance needs covered.
We got you covered. If you got romance, we're good.
That's right.
So how have you been?
You know, I am doing great for the YouTube view. Oh, you can't see it.
Yeah.
You can't see my
My
bruise.
I saw.
See my lovely bruise. I had a lovely colonoscopy, and whenever they try to get my veins, it never quite works out the way they think it's going to. Even though I let them know.
You have that problem too.
You're gonna have problems with me. Oh, we do it. Says the bruise. But yeah, no,
I have the same. I have the same issue. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's the pale pasty.
It might be. Yeah, it might be. Yeah. So that was a fun afternoon.
Sounds like the best way to spend an afternoon.
You know, it really is. It really is. What about you? What's up with you?
Just running. I mean, it's been a crazy day around here. I pretty much hit the ground running and have been going ever since. I'm in the middle of an action sequence in my story. I'm 70,000 words into my work in progress. So I am like coming into the home stretch, and I am been dying to get to writing today because I want to get on to the next chapter.
Sure.
Just hasn't happened.
Life is not letting it happen. Sorry about that.
It's just too many things. It's like every time I get on with one thing, it's like, oh no, it's time to do this next thing. Oh nope, it's time to do the next thing on my list. So I don't know, and it's going to be, we're recording this podcast in the evening. Yep. So we will see if you get anything done.
Yeah, my brain is usually mush after like 2 o'clock. So I wish you luck.
I'm not a good evening writer usually. I'm more morning or sometimes midday if I can get out of the house. I cannot write in my house during the middle of the day. Like 2 to 6, cannot write in my house because I will just want to sleep.
Well, there is that. But you know what? Some of my best ideas come from nap times. So you could say that your nap is writing time. I mean,
yes, it just doesn't exactly get words on the page.
No, it doesn't.
Maybe good for the the idea factor, right. But not quite there. So it is what it is. If I don't get it writing today, I'll get it in tomorrow. But I'm trying to not have to push my deadline back again. So I already had to do it once.
Yeah. Always hard when you have to do that.
Oh, I was so devastated, but there was just no way I was going to get it done. And I don't like to. I'm such a perfectionist when I write. Of course, I know that you are too, because you plan so much.
I do.
But
I do. And if I don't meet a deadline, that's all my fault. It's like, I did not plan for this appropriately. I am such a, but life sometimes just doesn't care about your plans, and it's gonna
it really doesn't.
So I get it.
Yeah. Well, my issue for, of course, Danielle knows this, because we do talk outside of the podcast, but I had to delay it. I did something to my neck. And so for a week and a half, I could barely move my neck from side to side.
Can't do
did all
nothing with neck pain.
yeah,
You can't do
I
nothing.
did all the things,
Yeah.
but I just sitting at my desk for any length of time
forget about
was like so painful. So I was just like, I just emailed my editor. I'm like, I'm sorry, but there is no way I'm meeting this deadline because I can't push myself to do this. I'm just in too much pain. So
well,
push it back
you
a
know,
month, but
one way that you can let readers know about this sort of pushback thing is, in theory, a topic that we're going to talk about today. It was my forced transition into today's
your
topic.
forced transition. Yes, yes, yes. Forced transition.
Yes.
Well,
that admittedly, neither one of us can say that we are experts on, but I think that we can both say that we're proficient enough in it to talk about it and give you some basics of BookFunnel. We've both used BookFunnel, and I know that there is some mystery about BookFunnel for people who've never used it before. I know I was one of those when, you know, I've heard authors saying, oh, you need to use BookFunnel. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it does. So finally bit the bullet this year.
Well, it's a little intimidating.
It is.
It really is. When you log on to the dashboard, when you first log in, you just see all of this stuff and you're like, what is all this?
What does any of it mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what? And
I wish there was like a little tutorial video for when you first log in, because the only way I learned how to use it was asking other authors that I happen to know that were using it. I would see them post their BookFunnel, you know, promotion, and I'm like, how did you do it? What'd you do? And, you know, had them walk me through it. It's not intuitive necessarily. So, you know, we can talk to you about some of the basics.
It's not difficult. It's not difficult once you get set up for it.
Yeah.
But learning the navigation can be a little tricky.
Yeah.
I know for me, I used BookFunnel when I first started, for the first year that I was using BookFunnel. All I used it for was sending out ARCs and promotional copies, freebies, sample chapters, that type of thing. And it's great for that. If you don't use BookFunnel for that, you're really missing a great resource. One of my favorite things about BookFunnel in that respect is that they code it when they send it out. They code it for you. So only for each one that you send out, it has a different code, and that can only be downloaded once for a 2-week time span. So you don't, you know, somebody can't, you know, send 10 of their friends the code, you know, their download link, and then they send it to 10 of their friends and they send it to 10. So
it's a good way to try to combat some of the piracy and the illegal downloads. And, you know, it's unfortunate that that's what it's come to, but that's sort of one of our only defenses against those sorts of things. There are different levels on BookBub. There are some features that you can use for free. Obviously, there's not going to be a lot of things that you can use for free because they want to make some money. But there are some things that you can do for free. And then there are some things that, you know, there's different levels. If you have like one pen name, if you have multiple. So it's kind of, you know, leveled out. I'm on the $10 a month plan, and that allows me to do X amount of things. But, you know, everybody can sort of tailor it to sort of what their needs are. And it's, I think, affordable for what it's providing for you,
if you're utilizing it to its fullest. And I mean, and no matter what level you're on, if you are utilizing those features that are available at your what price you're paying to the fullest, it really is worth the investment to do for an author, because you can do really so much with it. And
why don't we talk about some of the things that BookFunnel can do?
It's a good idea.
You. Like, I know that there's probably more than these 4, but these are the 4 things that I know that it does and have used almost all of them. As a delivery source for a reader magnet, if you have a reader magnet, and we can talk a little bit about reader magnets in a bit too, as a way to advertise for a sale that you might have, as a way to advertise an Amazon exclusive title, and then what you were talking about, that gifting the book securely, whether that's for an arc or whether it's just to gift a book to somebody. If you want to gift somebody a book and you want to have that safely secured, those are the 4 ways that I know to use it. There might be others, but those are the 4 that I know of. But do you know of any others off the top of your head?
There's also swaps, newsletter swaps.
Oh, newsletter swaps. Right.
Yeah,
Newsletter
with other
swaps.
authors,
Right.
which those are a little trickier. So we might want to talk about those kind of specifically.
Right.
To narrow that down, basically what it is you're going through the list. Somebody says they decides they're looking for a swap. Maybe they have a new release. And if you don't know what a swap is, basically you have your book and your newsletter, and another author has their book and their newsletter. And the swap is exactly what it says. They agree to put your book in their newsletter and put it in front of their readership, and you agree to do the same for your newsletter and your readership. I will say that first of all, newsletter swaps, if you do them, they have to be even more specific, in my opinion, than the sales and the reader, the other options, the group promotions that you can do on there. You are looking for, like, if I write BDSM club romance, it's what one of my series is a private BDSM club. That's what it is. And I don't have any menages. They're monogamous couples in all my books. So I'm looking, if I'm going to do a swap with another author, I want to promote one of those books, I am looking for another author that has a BDSM club series book with monogamous couples. Right.
Because it makes no sense to advertise your books on a sweet romance author's newsletter, because those are not the audience that is going to get you anything. So if you're paying attention to those newsletter specific swap for swap, pay attention to that.
They're also harder to get too.
They are. Yeah. Because of that, people don't want to send their readers books that they don't think their readers are going to jive with, which makes absolute sense, because then they're just going to unsubscribe from your newsletter. So they want to make sure that they're providing their newsletter subscribers with content that they think they would like. So there's a reason that there's the discernment, and you should be paying attention to that. That even applies, I would say, even to the group promos. Now, a group promo is a large group of books that are being offered up either for free, for 99 cents. It's usually a free or a 99 cents. Sometimes it's a new release. Everything has different sort of categories for what their group is. But the group things are very specific. So if there's a group promo post that says, sweet romance giveaway or whatever, whatever it is, you better make sure that your book matches the promo exactly, or you're going to be booted out of that newsletter. I mean, they're sort of checking those things.
They're very much checking it. There was one that I was looking at and considering doing, and I didn't, because it was a steamy holiday romance. So they were looking like doing a Christmas in July promo, but they specifically said in the description of the promo that your book needed to your cover needed to say, Christmas. It needed to show that it was a holiday themed book. Now, I do have a book, a novella it takes place right before Christmas, like December. It takes place in December and ends on Christmas Eve. I mean, it's a holiday romance, but it doesn't have any holiday theme on the cover because I made it to match into a series. And so that didn't fit with that particular thing. So I didn't even bother to apply, because I knew that it wasn't. But that's how detailed these promos can get.
They might have something like no sexy covers. They might, it really depends. So you've got to pay attention to all the details, because they will boot you out. And some of them will even, you have to have a certain ranking and whatnot. So what does that ranking mean? Can you sort of explain that a little bit, as far as you know?
Yeah, the ranking basically says you're a good participant.
Basically, yeah. And what does it mean to be a good participant?
I mean, that's what it is. What happens is that every promo that you are entered into, that you sign up for and you're approved for, you are sent by BookFunnel a link that is specific to you, that is attached to that promotion. And that's the link that you're sharing in your newsletter. It's the link you're sharing on all your social media, everything. That everywhere you share this promotion, this is the link that you share. This is the link you give your PA or your virtual assistant to share.
Right.
Okay. And that links back to you. And they're able to see, BookFunnel is able to calculate how many clicks, how many people clicked on your link. And you get credit for each of those clicks. So it will calculate after the promo ends, it'll tell you how many promos that you participated in, and then it'll do a slash, and then how many clicks that you got. And once you you get like 10, you've been in 10 promos, it will tell you that you were in 10 promos slash, and then the average number of clicks that you've had over those 10 promos. And most promotions, not all, but quite a lot of them, will actually, in their description of what they're looking for, they will say that there is a minimum of what your score has to be in order to participate. And again, it's to ensure that everybody is pulling their own weight.
Yeah, everybody's working to get this promo out. You're not just saying, oh yeah, I'll agree to be a part of this promo, and letting everybody else do the lifting for you, and you receive the benefit, but you did none of the work. So if you do sign up for one of these promos, you really do need to share these links everywhere and often. So that is sort of something to consider if you're considering one of these. Do I have the brain power and the resources to share a lot? Can I budget out the time to make sure that I'm sharing, not just on, one day, but throughout the week of the promo, or the weekend of the promo,
or the month,
or whatever the promo,
every promo lasts
guidelines are. Yeah, and some will make you pick a day that you're going to promote, but that doesn't mean that's the only day you need to share that link, especially if you're just starting out and you want to make sure that you're getting a ranking. Share the snot out of those things.
Yeah, the more you share it, and the more platforms you share it on, the better. And hopefully you have a marketing calendar, with your marketing plan, when you're posting stuff, what you're posting, and that needs to go on it. That needs to go on it. When you're promoting, when you're participating in these promos, you need to mark, on this day I am sharing this on Facebook, on this day I am sharing this on Twitter, on this day I'm sharing this on TikTok, whatever it is. You need to be figuring that out.
Absolutely. And the thing that I've used BookFunnel probably the most for is that group promo aspect for my reader magnet. So what a reader magnet, for those who might not be aware, it's a free short story, it could be a free chapter, could be a free novel or novella, maybe the first in a series. It all depends, but it has to be something, it should be something that will hook a reader into wanting to read more of you. So it's a good idea to pick something that maybe is leading into a series, so that you have that buy through the rest of the series, and that makes sense. So if you write sweet romance, say, and you decide to write a reader magnet that's sci-fi, probably not a good reader magnet for you to use, because people will be like, oh, I like this sci-fi writer. No,
we were talking. What we're gonna use Danielle as an example here.
Please do. Of what not to do.
So, well, no, I'm gonna read for what you did.
Oh, okay.
So basically, she has a series that she is writing. It's a novella series,
Yes.
a serial series.
Yes.
And we were talking about reader magnets, and she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna write. I mean, it starts where I wanted to start where it starts, and I can't really do anything. And we were discussing it, and I was like, why don't you do the setup from the hero's point of view? Because the whole book is pretty much in the the heroine's point of view.
Yep.
I said, why don't you write what leads the hero?
What the heck is the stranger doing in the church that day?
Yeah.
Why is he there?
How does he end up there?
Okay.
And she's like, that's a good idea. And so she ran with it, and that's what her reader magnet is for that series. So
let me tell you, it's hard to write a steamy reader magnet when it's only one person and they haven't met the romance yet. I did it, but it's hard.
Yes, I can.
Because I wanted to make sure that the steam level matched what the steam level would be for this series. So, but it can be done. It can be done. But a lot of reader magnets will do that. That'll be like a prequel of this, something that happens before, or it might be a bonus chapter of these characters before we start their story, or something like that. So, a reader magnet is a good way to get new readers into a series, and it's a good way to entice somebody who has never tried something of yours a chance to, you know what, I will sign up for this author that I've never heard of's newsletter in exchange for this reader magnet that sounds pretty good. And then you've got that email address now on your newsletter, so you might be able to entice them down the road with other projects. So bear in mind, if you do this, your newsletter list is going to grow. So be aware of that. If you're on like a payment thing and your, plan tops out at say 2,000 users and you're at 150, it's going to start creeping up pretty quick. So just sort of pay attention to that so that you're not all of a sudden going, oh no, I now have to pay $200 a month because my list has grown so much. Make sure it works for you, that the people that you're putting on your newsletter are actually clicking through when sales and things are posting, and that they're not just dead weight. So you will have to monitor your newsletter as it grows and just be aware of that. But there will be growth once you start using these promos.
And the way BookFunnel works with the newsletter magnets, and especially in the post GDPR world, it actually makes things a little bit better. You get less signups, but the signups that you get are more quality. So don't, if it's the first time you've ever done it, don't be like, oh, I only got 20 signups.
Right.
Don't forget it, because if those 20 people, if half of them buy your book and then continue to buy your books because they like them,
right,
that was worth your efforts.
Good newsletter subscribers are gold. Yeah.
Yes, long-term readers. And that kind of leads us in. Reader magnets are a way to find new readers to get onto your newsletter list. But you can also utilize BookFunnel to do bonus chapters, which you kind of mentioned earlier, which you should be doing. If you're not doing that, please. I wish I would have known about this 10 years ago when I started writing. It really didn't come up to my radar until a couple of years ago. But bonus chapters are glorious inventions.
Yeah.
Because you have, in theory, just had somebody read your story, and hopefully they loved it. They loved your characters. They loved your writing, and they are on that emotional, feeling.
I want more.
Yes,
I don't want it to be over.
Exactly. And so you're going to put your hand out and say, do you want more? Click on this link here for a bonus chapter.
Right.
And they're going to click on that, and to get that bonus chapter, they need to sign up for your newsletter.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing thing. And again, even if you don't get, you know, hundreds of people signing that up, if you get 10, 20, 30 people doing that, those are quality newsletter subscribers because they have already read your story. They loved it enough to click through for the bonus chapter.
And at the end of that bonus chapter, if you happen to have another book that is similar in feel or in, you know, whatever, add that. Want more sort of steamy romance? Click here for the next installment of, you know, X, Y, or Z. So you're
are you ready
funneling to the next series or the next series of books? So each book should in theory be leading to someplace similar.
Yeah, you want to try to find your, if you say you have 20 books out and you know, you've written a variety of different types of characters. I know some authors stick to very specific tropes, and that's fine. That works. It's in some ways it's easier to garnish your your readership that way.
Stephen King readers know exactly what they're going to get with a Stephen King book. Nothing wrong with that. That's probably the path to take.
Bonus chapters are key. If you're not doing them yet, go back and do them because it is worth your time. They do not have to be long. They can be as short as 1,000 words. You know, or
they can be as long as a novel. I mean, if you've got a you know, a 10-book series, go ahead, make that first book your reader magnet. Get them hooked in so that they buy the other 9. It's totally worth the investment. But if you've only got, say, a trilogy, maybe not giving the full book. Maybe that's a great use of a reader magnet, of a prequel of something that happened before. That might be a good use of that.
Some of the promos, some of the newsletter promos that you can do on BookFunnel do allow sample chapters.
Yes.
So you have to, again, read the details. The details matter.
Right. And some of them do not. Some of them will explicitly say no sample chapters, no whatever. It'll you gotta read the fine print. And
some of them will say no short stories, or some of them will even say no novellas. Must be a full-length novel. And some won't. Some will literally say sample chapters, novellas, short stories, welcome. You just need to read the fine print. And again, I think the same thing applies with those promos across the board, whether you're doing newsletter promos, sales promos, or what have you. The closer you can find other books that are in your niche, your trope that you're trying to promote, that is all the better.
That only works for your benefit, because those are the readers that you want to attract, or the ones that like that type of book that you've written. So it makes more sense to make sure that you're following the promo exactly, so that people that are clicking on these promos and seeing there are 20 books that are all, you know, steamy romance, they might go click, 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 click. Yes, I want them all. But if, you know, you've got a story that just doesn't look right, like you have the Christmas promo and there's not a Christmas cover, it'd be like, eh. So it would have been a wasted promo for you. Even if they had accepted it, it would have been. So I will often look at, before I sign up to do one, I will look at who's already signed up to see if I'm in line at all with what's going on. And if I'm not, then I'll pass that one up, because it won't be worth it. They will pass my thing up because it doesn't match what they're going to be looking for.
Yeah, and I would say also just pay really close attention to the details for a number of reasons, not just to kind of fit the match, but my experience has been, and maybe you can speak to yours if yours has been the same, but the broader what they're looking for. Like, I participated in a promo that was summer heroes. And they were just looking for alpha hero books, you know, in romances. Alpha heroes.
Right.
That is one of my worst clicked on BookFunnel promos.
Yeah.
Because it was so generic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so generic.
Yep.
Whereas a promo that targets first responder romances
is more in line.
So it's so much easier to promote too, because you can go like, do you like firefighter romances? Do you like law enforcement romance? Do you like military romance? You can target those and really get that out there, because it's like what I came is like, are you looking for a hero? Okay, well, it's so generic, and I didn't think about it when I signed up for it, because I'm like, okay, yeah, I've got an alpha hero,
I've got a hero,
and it specifically listed military as one of the potentials. So I was like, okay, well, I've got a military romance.
Right.
This
the more specific the promo language actually is better, because that means that they are really paying attention and they're really trying to hone the readers that they want. If it's just a sort of a generic promo, maybe pass that one by, because it's probably not going to suit you very well either. We only have a few minutes left. Are there any other things that we want to talk about BookFunnel? I do want to caution people that when you're getting your newsletter people in there, make a note in your newsletter subscriber list of where these people are coming from, so that you can sort of pay attention to that as it goes on. Are these people are they continually not opening or whatever, so you can kind of curate your list a little bit, especially if you're getting close to that having to pay the next threshold and you're not really there yet to be able to pay it. So I guess I would caution that, but it's a good way to grow your newsletter if you're just starting out.
It is. And even if you're not just starting out, if you're just trying to grow your reader base, it's a great way to do it. I would say this isn't really a BookFunnel tip specifically, but I do think it's related enough to mention. Anytime you're doing these newsletter promotions on BookFunnel, and then you're getting those newsletter subscribers, once you move them onto your newsletter, you need to do something with them. Don't just bring them over and have them start getting your regular newsletter. It's fine to have them get your regular newsletter, because that's my most up-to-date
what they signed
stuff.
up for.
Right. But you need to send them through a funnel
sequence.
Yeah. You need to introduce them to you. They don't know you.
Right.
They just downloaded your book, but they're
not gonna know your name when it comes through next month, or if you're only sending a newsletter once a month, they'll be like, who is this person? And they're gonna mark you spam, or they're gonna leave because I'm like, who is this person? I don't know who they are. So it's a lot of work being a writer. There's a lot of non-writing things that we have to do, and there's not enough hours in the day to do them.
Again, it goes back to having to have that plan. I mean, you are like way bigger planner than I am, but I'm still
not able to get it all done.
But I have a marketing planner that's separate from my regular planner. I have a separate marketing planner that I go through. I have all my BookFunnel promotions in there on my calendar, and then break it down.
Is it bound on its own? Is it got like a little? I love planners. I want to.
It's
completely. You'll have to send me pictures, because I just love planners. I don't know why. I just love them.
Yeah, it's completely separate. It has the week. It has the week on 2 pages, spread out to 2 pages, and then it has at the beginning of the month. It has the calendar. Just things. And I have my actual BookFunnel promos. I actually have them highlighted out.
Nice.
As to how long they go, so I can see which ones overlap, which one, how many promos do I have going at one time? What days I've agreed.
You do have to keep a grid of that, because you will lose track for sure, especially if you're doing lots of them. You got to pay attention, because they'll give you one reminder, and that's it.
It's up to you.
It's up to you. It's your ranking that you can either lift up or drop. So definitely something to consider for sure.
But I would definitely, if you're not on BookFunnel, I would highly suggest checking it out.
Check out the free options at first, and just see if it might be something you like.
Friends, talk to other authors about it. See what their experiences are. We've both, Danielle and I have both had very positive experiences with it. And I plan to continue using it, and I'm sure she does too.
I do.
So, it's a great tool if you know how to use it and if you're willing to take the time to use it. But as with everything else in this business and marketing, it takes time and there is a learning curve.
Yep.
So ask questions, do some research. But I definitely would recommend checking it out if you have not already. And I think that's going to wrap us up for today. Hopefully you will tune in next week and see what the topic of conversation is on the next episode. Until then, have a great week. Bye.
Wait! Before you go, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check us out on our website, boundbybookspodcast.com.